Stop for a moment. Look around you. This is your life, your work, your home, your daily routine. But ask yourself, is this really your life or someone else's dream? Welcome to English Podcast Horizon. Today, we're talking about something important. Many men feel lost in their own lives. They live the way others expect them to live. But learning English can help you reconnect with yourself again. This episode may completely change how you think about English learning. We'll explore how a new language can bring you back to your true identity. And I'll share a simple listening game that will surprise you. Stay with me for that at the end. Tell me in the comments about one moment when you felt most like yourself. Maybe it was while speaking English. Your story might help someone else. A lot of people face a silent problem. They feel like strangers in their own lives. It happens slowly. Day by day, you start living according to others' expectations. Your parents say, do this job. It's safe. Your boss says, work more hours. Society says, stay quiet. Don't question things. Everyone has an opinion about your life. But what about your opinion? Think about your normal day. How much of it feels truly you? How much feels like you're acting in a play? This happens everywhere. The man who works as a lawyer but dreams of being an artist. The office worker who secretly wants to help people. The guy who gave up his passion to keep others happy. But here's something interesting. When people start learning English, they often rediscover parts of themselves, parts they thought were gone. Scientists have discovered something amazing. When people speak different languages, they feel different too. This is not imagination. Language literally changes how we think and feel. Why does this happen? In your native language, you carry your history, all the moments you were told to stay quiet, all the times you felt judged, all the limits people placed on you. But in English, you get a fresh start. You can be more confident, more direct, more honest. You can say things you never dared to say before. Here's a simple example. In your language, you might say, sorry. Maybe I could try this. But in English, you might say, I want to do this. Same person, different confidence. Now here's the listening game I promised. It will surprise you. Think about something you really want to do, but feel scared to try. Now say this sentence in your native language. I will do this because I want to. Listen to your voice. How confident did you sound? Remember that feeling now? Say the same sentence in English. I will do this because I want to. Did you notice a difference? Many people say their English voice sounds stronger, more sure, sometimes completely different. This isn't magic. Scientists found that switching languages can change how we feel and act. Your English voice may actually be closer to your true self. So how do you know if you're living someone else's life? Here are 3 signs. First, you feel tired all the time. Not physically tired, but emotionally tired. This happens when you spend energy pretending to be someone you're not. Second, you can't make decisions. When you're disconnected from who you are, every choice feels heavy and confusing. Should you take that job? Move to that new city? Without knowing yourself, you can't trust your own feelings. Third, you feel jealous when others live freely. When someone quits their job to travel or starts their own business, you feel a small pain inside. You want that freedom too. If this sounds like you, don't worry, you're not broken. You're just ready to find your way back to yourself. Here's where English becomes more than just a language. It becomes a way out of a life that doesn't feel like yours. When you learn English, you're not only learning words, you're building a new version of yourself. A version that exists outside the old rules and old expectations. Studies show that people who speak to languages have more flexible personalities. They can shift, adapt, and become different versions of themselves when needed. Think about it. In your native language, you might be the quiet guy who avoids arguments. In English, you might become the confident guy who shares his opinions clearly. Both versions are real. Both versions are you. But English gives you permission to show the parts of yourself that your culture, your environment, or even your family might not accept easily. Researchers have found something interesting. People who start learning English often make other major changes in their lives. They change careers. They leave bad relationships. They start new hobbies. They travel. Why? Because learning a new language proves that change is possible. If you can learn to think in English, you can learn to live differently. One study found something amazing. When people practice English conversation, they become more willing to take risks in life. The confidence you build saying "I disagree" in English helps you disagree about bigger things too. This isn't about becoming a different person. It's about becoming more yourself. The person you were before the world told you to stay small and silent. Here's something powerful. When people feel lost, it's usually the first step toward finding where they truly belong. Learning English can speed up that process. Why? Because when you speak a foreign language, you give yourself permission to try new things, to express yourself differently. To be imperfect while you learn in your native language, you think, "I must be perfect or people will judge me." But in English, you already expect to make mistakes. And that freedom changes everything. You start thinking, if I can sound different in English, maybe I can act different too. If I can be brave in another language, maybe I can be brave in the rest of my life. So how do you use English learning to find your real self? Here are 3 simple practices to start today. First, practice saying what you truly think in English. When someone asks your opinion, try answering in English first. You might be surprised by how honest and confident your English voice sounds. Second, use English to talk about your real dreams. Every morning, spend 5 minutes describing in English what you want from life, not what others want for you. Third, find English content connected to your real passions. If you love cooking but work in an office, watch cooking videos in English. If you dream of traveling but feel stuck, listen to travel stories in English. Let English connect you to your real interests. Today's phrase is powerful. This is who I really am. It's a way to speak the truth about yourself. Practice saying it in different situations. When I speak English, this is who I really am. When I help others, this is who I really am. When I create something, this is who I really am. This phrase reminds you that you have the right to be yourself. Not the version others expect, but the real, honest version of you. Use this phrase whenever you feel pressure to act like someone else. Let it remind you that being yourself is not selfish. It's necessary. Here's what takes real courage: not starting fresh in a new country, but starting fresh in your own life, admitting that you've been following someone else's plan and deciding to write your own. Learning English can be the first step in that new plan. Every conversation becomes practice for speaking your truth. Every mistake becomes proof that you're brave enough to be imperfect while you grow. The question isn't whether you're too old or too late. The question is whether you're ready to stop living someone else's life and start living your own. When you begin to be more real, it affects everyone around you. Your family sees you working towards something meaningful. Your friends notice you speaking up more. Your coworkers see you taking real action. But here's the most powerful part. You give others permission to be real too. When they see you learning English, even when you're scared, they might chase their own dreams. When they hear you express your real thoughts, they might find the courage to share theirs. Being yourself is not selfish. It's a gift to everyone who knows you. Maybe you're thinking, what if it's too late? What if I've lived the wrong life for too long? Here's what research says. People can change and grow at any age. Your brain can learn, adapt, and rebuild no matter when you start. Starting your real life at 20 is not too late. Starting at 50 is not too late. Starting today is not too late. The only too late is never starting at all. So here's your challenge for this week. Have one conversation in English where you say something completely honest about yourself. It could be telling someone about a dream you have, sharing an opinion you usually keep quiet, or admitting something you're struggling with. Pay attention to how it feels when you speak honestly in English. Notice whether honesty feels easier or harder in English than in your native language. Watch how people react when you open up. This simple challenge might surprise you. It might show you why learning English feels deeper than learning vocabulary. As your English improves, you'll face a new challenge: how to bring the confidence you show in English into the rest of your life. That's where real change starts. You begin asking yourself, why can't I be this honest in my first language too? Why can't I carry this confidence everywhere? The goal isn't to become someone new. The goal is to become the full version of who you already are, to stop hiding the parts of yourself that the world actually needs. As we close today's episode, think about this. What would your life look like if you allowed yourself to be fully real? What would you start doing? What truth would you finally say out loud? How would you use your time differently? Your English journey is more than grammar and pronunciation. It's a path back to your true self. Every word you learn gives you another tool to express who you really are. Every conversation gives you practice in being real. The life you're meant to live is waiting for you, and English might be the key that unlocks it. Remember this: realizing that you've been living someone else's plan isn't a failure. It's an awakening. It's your inner voice finally speaking clearly enough for you to hear. Your English practice can be the start of your return to your real self. Every time you speak, you're not just improving a skill. You're rebuilding your voice, your courage, your identity. Thanks for spending this time with me here on English Podcast Horizon. In the comments, share a moment when you felt most like your true self. Was it while speaking English? Your story might be the inspiration someone else needs. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing.